Hey guys, today we're taking a look at another Broadway limited steam locomotive. Today it's the 280 Consolidation in this fantasy scheme of Southern Pacific daylight colors. So let's see what you get in the box next. Alright, we're gonna take off the lid here. Standard documentation for Broadway Limited, a nice owner's manual with glossy cover and several pages, I think 30. Choo-choo shoes flyer, 1 year limited warranty. You can pause if you want to read about that. And exploded parts diagram for both the locomotive on one side, tender on the other. So if you need to order parts, they have that all labeled. Locomotive is coming out of the box. They've recently added, as I've mentioned maybe in previous videos, a nice felt to the top. Locomotives gives it a classy feel. You've got a funnel for smoke, because this is a smoke equipped locomotive. You've got a hex key and traction tires to change out the drivers to give it more traction if you want to, even though these things have insane pull, I've noticed. So out it goes, and we're going to take a closer look. So this is a little fella locomotive, but boy is it cool. Love that daylight colors. I think they nailed those. Got a high mounted headlight on the smoke box door that's LED. Smoke smokestack here, separately applied grab irons there. Got both molded and separately applied plumbing parts on the side here. Metal coupler in the front with the pilot and stairs onto the walkways. Pistons on the side, nice eccentric crank and side rod detail there. You've got white walled wheels along with the spokes. 2720 on the sides, easy to read. You can see more plumbing below the cab. You've also got the bell that swings freely here. And safety valves, dynamo, rivet detail on the cab roof. And I'll see if the vent opens and closes. It does. They do on all Broadway Limited locomotives, I believe. They make that nice touch there. Got the deck plate sitting here. We'll just have to adjust that to where it's on top of the tender. Coal plate, or coal load here. Water fill hatches on the rear. Rivet detail going along the side along with Southern Pacific, and the tender load limits there. Got a crew ladder on the back and rear light, as you can see. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can take a closer look on this side. And I'm going to turn the tender a bit so we can see a little bit of boiler backhead detail. You can see the butterfly doors there. And all the plumbing on the right side here. Builder's plate there right on the front. Got the front trucks. This is a 280, so nothing under the cab in terms of wheels. And you see 2720 finally printed on the side of the headlight housing as well. Alright, this is not going to be manly of me at all. You can take my man card, but I'm just going to say it because I thought it. This locomotive is cute. It is just a cute locomotive. It's small. It's got that orange paint scheme. This thing is cool. Has smoke in this tiny little package here. So very, very cool. We're going to go ahead and listen to some sounds now. This is Paragon 3, so you can buy the subwoofer and get a deeper trackside experience with some deeper bass rumblings. But we're going to just demonstrate the sounds out of the box here. Oh, I really like that bell. Whistle. All you Broadway Limited fans like me to do the alternate whistle on F22, so I'll check that out now. Then we'll go back to the original whistle and cover some more sounds. You do have extended startup and shutdown sequence on F9, which you hear the crew coming up and the engine comes to life and then the dynamo spins up. You can probably have heard that on some of the other Broadway Limited reviews. We're going to pick some other sounds this time, just some ones that we don't cover often, like higher function background sounds. Alright, those are crew sounds. It looks like I had 16 and 18 activated at the same time. But you've got other sounds as well. You've got macro ability, which means you can record a sequence and then play it back. You've got water fill when stopped. Air pump on F4. Got coal shovel on F10 or auger. Sounds like an auger in that case. You can hear it moving along. So many different sounds to cover. Very, very cool. And we're going to actually move this now to see how it handles a slow speed control. I'm going to go to 1 speed step. Pretty smooth at 1. Two, 3, 4, and 5. Going in reverse here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So good there, front and back. Usually I show you smoke at the same time, but the stack got clogged, so I just gave it a little puff of air. You can see synchronized puffing smoke. I know you saw it earlier, but you didn't see it puffing, so there you go. We're going to check coupler height real quick. There's the back end. Looks dead on, but you be the judge because I am not centered. Oh man, this thing does not want to budge, which tells you just how good the pulling power is on these. It's hard to move them manually. Front coupler's dead on too, so you got nice NMRA compliance there. Alright, we're going to check this here. It's working its way up. Pull test gauge locked at 7.2. That is insane. That is 105 cars, people, for such a tiny little locomotive. I don't know what Broadway Limited's doing down there in engineering, but that's 105 regular-sized freight cars. I don't know if that for sure equates to an actual pull-around on curves and everything on a layout, but that's what we're looking at. That is the gauge. Every ounce is supposedly 15 standard freight cars. Okay, I'm going to get over it, but it's still amazing. All right, we're going to weigh the little engine that could now. That's my nickname for it. I know, very, very innovative. A little over half a pound, 8.5 ounces, 240 grams, 0.240 kilograms. So there you have the weight. Probably a little bit out of picture, but you can trust me. All right, that's going to do it for our review on the Broadway Limited Paragon 3 280 steam locomotive. Very cool locomotive. From what I can see, this is not prototypically accurate. I don't think there's any schemes like this. I believe this is a fantasy scheme. But nonetheless, it is a fun locomotive. And if you are a lover of trains, you'll want a scheme like this because it's very, very cool. It both looks nice and it runs nice. To be honest, Broadway Limited sounds have in the past kind of been criticized, but the bell on this is probably the best bell I've heard in a year on a steam locomotive. It sounds excellent. If you really go back and listen to the video, the bell sounds good. And Broadway Limited is about having fun with locomotives and rolling stock. They've even got cattle cars, stock cars that make sounds. It's about bringing kids into the hobby and having fun as an adult, and I'm all about that. There are 280s out there that are correct or closer to the prototype that they're offering. They're offering a lot of different schemes. This specific scheme, I believe, is fantasy. With that said, I'm going to leave you running by with just this locomotive. You can listen again to that bell and whistle, and we'll see you next time right here on my channel. Take care.